All right, welcome everyone. Ken here with Monterey Pro Strategies. It's going to be the weekly recap for the week of August 16, 2019. And this is just a recap of all the trades that I made. Now, a couple things I want to mention here before we get into it is what you see here these are my personal trades. And typically I have 5 different patterns that I teach in my course strategy. And what I tend to do is I tend to trade 1 or 2 of them during the week. I can't trade all of them, so depending on what particular patterns you follow, I always suggest to follow 1 or 2 and stay with 1 pair. I tend to trade across 4 to 5 different pairs, but I usually do stick with just 1 or 2 patterns for those pairs. So your results will be different than mine. I know some of my students have made more money than I've made. It just depends on what pair you're trading, how many you're trading, and what particular patterns you're trading. But this week I traded just 2 patterns for the whole week, and this is how I did. I did a little bit better than last week. I only had 1 losing session, which is Friday, which is pretty typical for a Friday. But my first trades, now this is what I look at here, is I just go back at the end of the day and I look at my very first trade. Was it profitable or was it not profitable? And I'm still hitting at 70%, which is pretty good. You got 10 total sessions, and 7 out of 10, my very first trade out of the gate was a profitable one. Once again, that's not something that I'm consciously thinking of when I make my first trade. It's just I take the first signal that comes across the charts, and I go ahead and I take it, and that's where I'm at. Now, here's something that I want to start doing. I'm going to start doing for everybody so they can kind of get a better idea of the statistics that I look at. And this particular one, this is only one of my patterns that I look at, and it's a C1 pattern. And this is looking at the 4 main pairs. I mainly trade these 4, the Aussie US, Euro, Pound, and the US Yen. Okay, there's a total of 7 that's offered by NADEX. But these are my 4 main ones, and so these are the ones I'm doing the stats on. This is also, you're going to see these on the charts in just a minute with the blue arrows, okay? So you can see on the Aussie, still, I mean, not great, but still hitting at 70% on the morning sessions. I mean, 70%, anytime you're hitting at 70%, I mean, you've got something that's really powerful. But then you come over and you look at the yen, and what this is I went back and I looked at all the trades for the week, and I looked at only the morning session for the whole week, and I looked at the evening session. So how did the Aussie do on all the morning sessions? 69% of the trades were profitable. On the Euro this week, 79% were profitable. Pound US, 75% were profitable. And yen was kind of surprising. I thought it'd be a little bit lower, but it still came in at 76%. Very nice. Okay, now the evening session. Now the evening session, I've always liked evening sessions. If you look at these numbers, look what's here's what's interesting. I'm trading from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time on the morning sessions. I'm only trading 2 hours at night for the evening sessions. And I do come and chat, and I do trade. Students are welcome to come in as well and trade with me. And look what I made, almost twice. I made twice, okay? In 2 hours what I made trading from 8 to 3. Okay, so you can see nights are extremely powerful. And you can also see that in the probabilities. Now the evening, not so good this week for the Aussie, but look at your Euro, 94%. Pound, 92%. US Yen, 75%. Okay, so now this is backed up. I've always liked evening sessions, but now I'm starting to back it up and show you guys some of the numbers that I look at. And this is why I like the evening session, is because not only can I make more money in a shorter period of time, but my signals are so much more powerful and a lot more accurate in terms of percentages. Now, percentages alone doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make money. Once again, the thing about binaries is you have to be able to modify your size, your trade size. And I teach you how to do that once you become a member and you get in my live chat room I teach you how to modify your sizes, okay? So that's what I'm able to do, and that's what I do to make these kind of numbers. I'm not just trading ones. Now, I always start the day with ones, and I build up a nice little base before I put any kind of size on. I do have certain ratios that I look at. When I say ratio, I'm saying like a 1 to 2, 1 to 3. So if I add size, maybe I'll put a second 2 lots on, or maybe a 3 lots on, that type of thing. But it's all depending on what signals is, the strength of the signal, what kind of results I've had in my prior trades for that particular pair and so forth. So anyway, that's something I look at. So overall, not a great week, but I'll tell you what, certainly wasn't a bad week. 2,500. Not a bad week overall, but pretty average. I'm expecting things to really start picking up. So summertime seems to really be a strong time for me. I know if you're trading stocks, it tends to be just the opposite. Don't know why that is, but that's just the way it seems to work for me. But anyway, so I like to come in and try to take advantage of that. Okay, so anyway, so let's take a look at some of the charts. Now, before we get into it, if you like these videos, please give me a thumbs up. Please make sure you subscribe. I just put out a new free video on a cool little pattern that I found in the FT100. If you like to trade hourly binaries, kind of give you a start on the kind of patterns to start looking for. This is not the same kind of pattern that I use in the 5 minutes. It's just a pattern that I found in the hourlies, and I went ahead and put together a video for just the FT100. You can look for similar patterns in the US 500 or the Germany 30 if you want to go into it that far. I don't trade hourlies, okay? I trade 5 minutes. So patterns are totally different in the 5 minutes than you would be finding in an hourly, but it is kind of cool, something to take a look at. It is available on YouTube, binaryprostrategies.com. You can go there and take a look at that video. And if you're an hourly guy, maybe it'll help you. Maybe filter out some of your trades, and maybe it'll be helpful. I don't know. I don't trade hourlies, but if you like it and it works and you found a way to use it, please let me know. I'd love to hear about that. Okay, so let's look at some of the charts here for the week, and we can take a look and see how we did overall. Okay, one sec. Okay, here we are. This is the chart from Sunday night. Now, if you do decide to join the live chat room, these arrows are plotted. This is one particular pattern that I follow. I do plot the arrows for that, so you can watch it. There are many more patterns that develop. If I put them all in here, you probably wouldn't be able to understand anything. So this is just one, and this is the one that I trade quite a bit, and that's what these arrows all about. This is Sunday night's activity. Sundays, as most of you know, it's always been my favorite day to trade. Overall, the market flow and the EOM was pretty good across the board. Had many opportunities to make money, as you can see. Once again, this is just one pattern. There were other patterns that developed that were just as profitable. But all these patterns that I'm showing, or this particular pattern that I'm showing, is available in the core strategy. And there's a total of 5 of them, and this is just one of them. So once again, not a bad Sunday night. Let's go ahead and, so this is a chart. As you can see, it's, you have quite a few wins. I mean, the nightly trades tend to be very, very good. Obviously, Sunday being a night trading session. As you know, nights are typically my best session, and it shows statistically the trades tend to have a lot higher probability of wins than you do during the day. That has a lot to do with the difference in the spread between the strikes. They do tend to narrow later on in the day session, and then at night they stay narrow. So that's a huge, that makes a big difference when you're trading these binaries, but because you tend to get better premium when you have narrower spreads on the strikes. So anyway, that's Sunday. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at Monday's day session. Okay, here's Monday's session. Once again, you can see a lot of good trades here. These are the trades that I actually make. So when you see a W, that's a win. If you see an L, that's a loss. I personally make these trades. So this is what you're seeing when I'm showing win and loss. But nonetheless, Monday, not a bad day. Started off kind of slow, but after a few hours, all the currencies started moving. Even though everything was pretty quiet, we had really good market flow, decent EOM, and most of this picked up at the end of the day. So ended up having a really nice day, and I like the action. You look at this, you think it's pretty choppy, but as far as my patterns were concerned, it just took advantage of a lot of this and really kicked in. Was definitely in sync with the market action and ended up having a really nice session. Okay, so that is going to be Mondays. Let's take a look at Tuesday's action. All right, so here's Tuesday's action. Had many good setups in the morning, but I only actually was able to trade a few here, as you can see by the wins and losses. The arrows still indicate particular setups. I only traded a few of them, really due to just a lot of distractions today, but still managed to have a small little gain. Usually I can do better at night when I don't have as many distractions, and so, but that still ended up green for the day. Just didn't trade that much. Once again, this is just one of the patterns that I'm plotting here. There are many more that you can identify. You just kind of pick whichever one you like, stick with it, try to stick with one pair, and that's typically where you're going to start your early success, is sticking with one pair, one pattern, and then as you get better with identifying the setups and the patterns, and you can start trading multiple pairs and trading multiple patterns. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at Wednesday's action. Okay, here's Wednesday's action. Once again, this was pretty much average. I guess this was kind of what I consider an average session, with most of my trades coming in later in the afternoon once the strikes tighten up, or the spread on the strikes tightened up. Just a lot of really good setups. Even though the EO1 was a little lacking for most of the day, still had some nice setups. Took advantage of it. Ended up with, what was it, $200 and something for the day session. So that's pretty average. I mean, right now, considering I'm not trading too heavy. So just typical Wednesday action. If they're all like this, I'd be happy with that. So once again, these are the trades that I made, as you can see here. Market had some really nice, good, movement here. Really good follow through. It gets a little choppy here, but my system was able to, or my pattern was able to stay in sync with this, and ended up for a really nice session. Okay, let's take a look at Thursday, because I know Thursday we did a little bit better. Let's take a look at Thursday's morning. Okay, nice Thursday morning. As you can see here, a lot of good movement, a lot of good follow through, steady action pretty much all day long. The follow through started in the morning and lasted through most of the afternoon. All my profits, once again, were made with just two different patterns that I trade. And I did adjust size a little bit this morning, and ended up having made a little bit more than I made yesterday, certainly within what I consider to be my average session profit, and just good action. So you can see that the action is starting to pick up here, which is typical for the summer. We had last week, it was kind of a tough week for me, but it's just like anything else. When you have a really strong day, the next day tends to be a lot more challenging. So you just have to kind of keep that in mind. Just like one week tends to be good, next week tends to be not so good, and it just can kind of vary like that. So it doesn't mean you can't say that's a hard, fast rule. It's just something to always keep in the back of your mind. If you have a killer day, next day just come in a little bit more conservative. Be careful, because a lot of times you'll find that you can give it all back that next day if you're not careful. So anyway, just something to keep in mind, and you're going to know it by your trades. And also something that I do in chat is I do like a midday recap to kind of let you know what the percentages of winning trades and losing trades are. So that's good, because what tends to happen in the morning, you'll see that will tend to follow through in the afternoon. So let's say the yen's hitting at 80%, that tends to continue on for the rest of the day. So you can kind of make sure that you're focused in the right pairs. If for some reason you're in a pair and it's not doing too well, you may want to consider moving to another pair in the afternoon to have some better results. But anyway, that's something that I also post as well. You saw that in my earlier in this video where I showed you the percentages. But anyway, I do that as well in chat. So that I also release midday in chat. Kind of helps with making a decision what pair you want to be in. Okay, so anyway, nice day on Thursday, so let's take a look at our Tough Friday. All right, well, here we are for Friday. Friday was, once again, it was one of those tough sessions. Let me see if I can give this a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to stretch that out anymore. Fridays, you know, typically are a hard day to trade. Today was no exception. But it's been funny because I say that and then that next Friday tends to be a really good one. So I continue to trade on Fridays. It's your call. Fridays are probably a little bit tougher. If it's tough for me, with the many years of experience I've had, you know, you may want to stay away from Fridays. That's certainly up to you. What tends to happen is most of your action tends to come first thing in the morning. It kind of dies off in the afternoon. It really gets bad. But there are exceptions to that. So, you know, you can either decide to trade or not trade. If you do trade, just stick with one pair and just trade that. That's what I recommend. Unlike what I did, is I was trading pretty much across the board, and it wasn't that I was hitting. I mean, overall, I think the stats were still in the 70s and 80s as far as profitability. It's just what I ended up doing is putting on some size on some of the weaker pairs, and that's something I shouldn't have done, and it ended up costing me. Now, not bad. I mean, when you look at the big scheme of things, $188 is not a bad session overall. But hey, you're not going to make money every day, and you're not going to make money every session. It's just reality. But I do believe, and I have shown that you can make money at least 9 out of 10 sessions. So anyway, that's it. If you're interested in more information, just go to my website, binaryprostrategies.com. Drop me a line, give me a shout, and I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. That is going to be it. I will be back Sunday night. I always trade Sunday night in chat, and it will be back Sunday night. I have a feeling that Sunday night's gonna be good, considering kind of what the market has been doing over the last week. Probably gonna have some good volatility Sunday night. So looking forward to doing some trading on Sunday night. Once again, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I also send this information out via an email once a week. So if you're on my email list, you'll get that. Also be a link to that free FT100 video is also going to be in that email, so you can go ahead and take a look at that particular pattern. And I've got some more coming out. I have one coming out on the US 500, which is really cool. Now, this is one that I've been tracking for 3 or 4 years. It's a really good pattern. So if you trade the FT100 to 20 minutes now, it's on the 20 minutes. I think it'd be something you may be interested in taking a look at. So I'll get that out within the next few weeks. Until then, everybody have a great trading week, and we'll see you soon. Okay, so if you're interested in learning exactly how I do this, I do offer 2 different packages. And the way this is set up is that if you want to learn about the core strategy package, now that isn't going to include all the videos. You're going to get full access to all my training videos and educational material. You're going to get full disclosure of the core strategy, which I use a lot, particularly the single and double continuation patterns. The majority of all the results that you see on my daily returns is going to be based off of those 2 patterns, okay? I also do trade the delta pattern, and I also will show you how to use the nibble strategy. The nibble strategy is designed to catch very short-term trades, and I'll show you exactly how to use that in combination with some of the other core patterns. Also, how to transition from demo to live account. This is very important. That video is also included. As you know, it's also available on YouTube for free. But how to transition from a demo to a live account is very important. Something you need to watch. Don't just jump in and start trading in a live account. You want to learn the strategy, and you want to make sure that you're profitable. I'd say at least 9 out of every 10 days. And then when you get ready to transition to a live account, please watch the video, because there's some really good steps on how to make that transition. Also, when you purchase the package, you're going to get a 1-hour personal training with me. So you and I will do a one-on-one, and I'll make sure that you fully understand everything and how it works. Now, this package is designed to pretty much purchase and go if you wish. You can purchase, watch everything, and go out and trade on your own. Now, if you want to learn about the core strategy, plus the crystal ball, basically you're getting everything in here. You're getting the core strategy, but you're also going to get the you're going to learn the crystal ball method. That's something that's available. That's a video that is not available online. That's something you and I will once again sit down and go through and make sure you fully understand it. Now, if you decide that you want to go just with the core strategy and learn the crystal ball at some point, I'll just charge you the difference between the core strategy price and then the full price that includes the crystal ball. So I'll just charge you the difference between the two. Okay, so these are designed to basically purchase, learn them, and then go and do your own trading and so forth. Now, if you wish to join me live as I trade live every day, which I highly suggest, because what I do is I also, not only do I share my charts, but I show you where I'm getting in, where I'm getting out, what strike, what price, why I'm doing it, what I'm seeing in the market. It's well worth it, and that's only going to be $50, okay? So if you want to, once again, if you just want to learn these on your own, you can purchase the package and move on. If you want to learn the package and then also join my live trading room, chat room, then that's just $50 a month. And that's $50 reoccurring as long as you want to stay. There's no time limit. So if you want to stay 2 months, 3 months, a year, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just $50 a month. Okay. So if you're interested, you want to go to binaryprostrategies.com, and in there under join now, you're click on that little button, it'll pop up, you'll see this, and you can go ahead and purchase one of these 2 packages, and or if you're a reoccurring member, you can go ahead and join the monthly if you're not already part of the chat room. So any questions, as always, you can always get a hold of me by going to the website. My phone number's there, email address, and so forth. So if you like to do that, feel free to give me a call. I'll be glad to answer any of your questions before you make a decision. But everything I teach is fully disclosed. I'm not holding anything back. I am here to educate. I'm not a signal provider. That doesn't do you any good by me just giving you my signals. I'm here to teach you how I see the signals, and I want you to learn them as well and be able to identify them as well as I do. And then, this way you are free to trade on your own. You don't need me around all the time. But for those that like to stay in the chat room and trade with us live every day, that's always an option as well. So that's it. Thanks once again for watching my video, and you'll have a great day.